Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as promised, I will be taking you through some of the costings of what we spent on our first ever renovation project, as well as how much we made. Bearing in mind, we did this project probably a couple of years ago, but it was very, very useful for us to be able to help budget to do this project, which is a lot bigger. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and yeah, I'm gonna run you through exactly what we spent all our money on. So I tracked everything. I'm just sat at my laptop, so I'm going to get everything up so I can literally just go through it with you. I tracked everything we spent on a spreadsheet, literally, or just like a Google Doc spreadsheet. We do also have an accountant who obviously set us up with QuickBooks. We have kind of like projects set up in there because we also have a rental property. So he does the kind of money side of things. I will admit I am rubbish when it comes to any of that kind of stuff, taxes, all of that jazz. So Steve is a lot better than I am, but we have obviously employed someone to help us with that side of things because we are clueless. So yeah, all of our spending obviously goes through QuickBooks and all of that jazz. But for me and how I like to work, and how I like to visualize things, I literally just put it into my spreadsheet every time I buy something, pay an invoice, whatever it may be. And I also, on my spreadsheet, when I know there are upcoming costs, for example, plastering, I'll put an estimate of what I think it's going to cost in there, kind of highlight it in orange, and then I know that that's something that I'm expecting to go out, and that kind of helps me stay on track with whether we're on budget or not. So first things first is how much did we spend on the house? So the house itself is a 2-bed end of terrace Victorian cottage. So we bought it at auction for £150,000. We were pretty happy with that price. We were actually willing to pay up to £160,000. So that was our very maximum budget to spend on the actual house itself. So obviously we're pretty pleased that we got it for a little bit less. It means that we can have a little bit more profit. And then obviously on top of that, you have to factor in things like auction fees. Those are just shy of £2,000. Stamp duty, that's another £5,000 on top of that. And also solicitor fees as well. So for buying our property, our specific solicitors who we've used so many times, we spent £1,000, and then the selling side of it was more like £600. Right, we've got a needy dog. Come on then, come on then. Say hello. I know, I know. Right, so let's move on to the whole construction side of things and what we spent. I feel like you guys need to see what the house looked like previously to really kind of take in how much work needed to be done. It was very much a shell. I have done walkthroughs of befores, drawings, after, so all of these videos will be linked down in the description box, so you guys can go check them out if you want to. But for our labour, so labour and materials for most things, which I know is really, really vague, and don't get me wrong, it's annoying. We spent £33,739. On top of that, there were some extra outgoings. So we bought a new boiler. So that labour and materials number I just gave you did include the fitting of the boiler, but we went and bought the boiler ourselves. That was £400. The kitchen units I purchased myself outside of that £33,000. Those were £851 for that L-shaped kitchen with a couple of top units as well. The extractor hood and the hob were £135, but then I had to go and buy extra worktops, extra bits that were missing off of the kitchen, and that was an extra £200. Washing machine, £170. Like kitchen handles were like £30. All of this stuff really adds up, so it's definitely worth keeping track of it. The kitchen handles I got from Amazon. The kitchen units I got from 𝐷𝐿𝐿𝐼. I spoke about that in my last video, and you have to have a trade card to purchase from there, but we are doing this all through a limited company. The flooring that we used downstairs was all wood flooring, laminate wood flooring from B&Q. It was the 𝐷𝘰𝐮𝐿, is it 𝐷𝘰𝐮𝐿? It's like an own brand, I think. 𝐷𝘰𝐮𝐿 flooring. Anyway, we spent £188 on the flooring. So obviously, like, our labour and materials cost, that included the fitting of the flooring. The bathroom flooring, we actually used LVT tiles, which were actually pretty decent. Those were £82 to floor the whole bathroom. And then carpets and underlay were £335. And then furnishing wise, we actually bought the sofa, like the table, the dining chairs. This is something I said before as well. I would definitely recommend furnishing it. We had a lot of good feedback about that, and I think it gives people more of an idea of it being a home rather than an empty shell, especially when everything's painted white. And yeah, so like I said, the sofa, the dining table, chairs, they were all actually from eBay, new from eBay, but from eBay. Those were £537. If you guys do want more information of how we furnished it, the links and stuff, then that is in one of the videos. Side tables from B&M, £25. We got a couple of IKEA bits, that was 77 quid. Fridge, 180. Got a couple of bits from Dunelm, like just small purchases here and there, but it's stuff that I still keep track of. And then we also had to have extra work done to the plastering and the roofing. So the extra work we had done to the roofing was £1,440, and that was to fix all of the LED flashing. It wasn't sat right, and then also just to fix a bit of the walls. I can't even remember now, guys, to be honest. And yeah, remove the chimney pots as well, because we found out the chimney pots weren't even attached to the house. So overall cost of work, including all of that, came to £38,515. So one thing I would say is set yourself a budget for the work that you want to do, but also set yourself a quite generous contingency as well. So for the work, we wanted to spend between £30,000 to £35,000, and that's what we budgeted for, but we did have a contingency on top of that. So obviously the work that we had done came to about £38,500. That is more than we wanted to spend, but it was still within our contingency, so it wasn't the end of the world. We still knew that we would make a profit on it. One thing that I haven't touched on yet is you have to factor in certain bills as well. Things like council tax, bear in mind you're going to have to cover that. Home insurance, you have to insure the place, and just things like other little bills, all of that kind of jazz. And then estate agent fees as well. Obviously, if you're going to flip it, sell it, you're going to need to hire an estate agent. I've spoken about this in my other video as well, about the hiccup we had with choosing our estate agents. So we originally went with Purple Bricks. We paid £1,300 for their services, which were literally just not even up to scratch at all. But it was on the market with them for months and months and months. They didn't manage to sell it. We put it on with a different estate agent. They managed to sell it within 2 weeks. So we ended up paying double estate agents fees, which is obviously really not ideal. And that is one thing that we'll definitely learn for next time. So the estate agents that we sold it with eventually were called Hunters, and we paid them a flat rate fee of £2,400, but obviously we didn't pay that until after the property was sold. Oh my gosh, so much talking. Right, what have I not spoken about yet? So total of all of that so far has taken us to £202,000. So that's all of the works, fittings, finishings, estate agents, solicitors, any other fees you may encounter, cost of the property. That's where we're sitting at. So we obviously had a number in our mind what we wanted to sell it for. That number was £230,000. We originally put it on the market for £235,000. It was sat with Purple Bricks at that. We did a price reduction with Purple Bricks, and it was just such a waste of time. I feel like if we'd originally put it on with Hunters, that we maybe would have achieved that price, because for the area, it was a really good location. It was a decent size 2-bed for that kind of area. Obviously, it was nice and modern inside. We think that number would have been achievable, and actually when we got estate agents in, we got 3 different estate agents in. One of them actually said £250,000, and we said no, that is ridiculous. You kind of have to do your own research. I would definitely get 3 different estate agents in and just see what they say. It's good to obviously get a few different opinions. But yeah, we kind of went with the middle number. We put it on at 235, knowing that we'd be comfortable with 230 if we were to sell it for that. So we put it on for 235 with purple bricks, went through a price reduction. We then put it on with Hunters at 230, and they actually managed to sell it within 2 weeks at that price. However, come survey time, we've had some stuff flagged up in the survey. The buyers wanted quite a drastic price reduction, which obviously we were just not going to agree to, because we thought it was quite a borderline rude price reduction. We managed to renegotiate it to £5,000 for a number of reasons. At this point, this whole process had gone on for so long that we just wanted it gone. So having said all of that, that takes our profit to £22,990. So the amount of profit that we were hoping for was more like 30 plus. And I feel like we were on track to get that, but because we had all these kind of curveballs that, oh yeah, and obviously it's our first project, we're very much learning. We are very, very grateful to have made a profit at all. And don't get me wrong, £22,000 is a lot of money. I'm not going to sniff at that. It is a lot of money. We're more disappointed at how long it took than how much money we made. We were hoping this would take 4 to 6 months. It's taken like 18 months, which we honestly never foresaw that. And obviously I've said before, the curveballs that we had were our shitty contractor, shitty purple bricks, and then shitty COVID. So that definitely had an impact, a huge impact on our timeline. And I felt like it was kind of a knock-on effect that also had a bit of an effect on the profit that we made. But that is the general gist of it. Right guys, I hope you have enjoyed that video. Don't forget to subscribe for loads more content coming up. Obviously we've got a lot more coming up in the bungalow as well, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, because it really supports my channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.